Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza is probably the most stunning of all these ancient structures. How do you think they did that?
Well, some of them, the granite in the Great Pyramid comes from more than 500 miles to the south. If you look at the famous King's Chamber, its walls and its roof are, the ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic granite blocks.
If you think building IKEA furniture is hard, wait till you find out how ancient Egyptians stacked million-ton stones. Without machines, 4,500 years ago, long before electricity, engines, steel tools, or anything we would recognize as modern machinery, human beings achieved something that still unsettles us today. Massive stone structures rose from the desert, aligned with the stars, balanced with near-perfect precision, and built to outlast time itself. No cranes lifted these stones, no motors powered their movement, no computers calculated their placement. Yet the Great Pyramid of Giza still stands, towering over the landscape, built from more than 2 million blocks, many weighing several tons each. The question that continues to echo through history is not just how this was done, but why we find it so difficult to believe that humans were capable of such brilliance without machines. To understand the pyramids, we must first step into the mindset of ancient Egypt, a civilization where life and death were not opposites, but extensions of one another. For the Egyptians, death was not an ending. It was a continuation of existence in another realm. The soul, they believed, needed a preserved body to survive in the afterlife. Without it, the soul would wander, lost forever. This belief transformed architecture into something sacred. Tombs were not places of remembrance, but gateways to eternity. For the pharaoh, who was believed to be chosen by the gods and connected to the divine order of the universe, this responsibility was even greater. His resting place had to be perfect, stable, and eternal. Failure was not an option. This belief explains why the pyramids were not designed to be beautiful alone, but indestructible. Every stone, every angle, every measurement served a deeper purpose. The pyramid shape itself was not chosen randomly. It symbolized the primordial mound from which creation began and allowed the soul of the pharaoh to ascend toward the heavens. This spiritual motivation created a level of dedication that modern societies rarely experience. When an entire civilization believes that eternity depends on a structure, the limits of human effort shift dramatically. For a long time, the dominant story claimed that these monuments were built by slaves suffering under brutal conditions. It is a dramatic story, and drama often survives longer than truth. But archaeology has told us otherwise. Excavations near the pyramids revealed entire communities built for workers, organized housing, bakeries capable of producing thousands of loaves of bread, evidence of medical care, and proper burials for laborers who died during construction. These were not enslaved people discarded when exhausted. They were skilled workers, craftsmen, and seasonal laborers who took pride in their contribution to a national and religious project. Some inscriptions even suggest that work teams had names filled with humor and pride, revealing a human side we rarely associate with ancient monuments. This changes everything. Once we accept that the builders were not slaves but trained workers operating within a highly organized system, the construction of the pyramids begins to feel less like an impossible mystery and more like a triumph of human coordination. Thousands of people working toward a single goal, following plans refined over generations, can accomplish astonishing things. Organization, not machines, was the true engine behind the pyramids. The stones themselves, however, still raise difficult questions. Limestone blocks weighing 2 to 3 tons were quarried, transported, and positioned with incredible accuracy. Some granite stones, brought from quarries hundreds of kilometers away, weighed far more. Without wheels or engines, how were these stones moved across the desert? The answer lies in a principle so simple that it is often overlooked: friction. Ancient Egyptian reliefs show workers pulling stone blocks on wooden sleds while water is poured onto the sand in front of them. This was not ceremonial or symbolic. Modern physics confirms that wetting sand reduces friction dramatically, allowing heavy loads to move more easily. What looks like primitive trial and error turns out to be applied science based on careful observation of how materials behave. Transporting stones was only the first challenge. Raising them to build a structure that climbed hundreds of feet into the sky required even more ingenuity. The popular image of a single massive straight ramp leading to the top of the pyramid quickly collapses under scrutiny. Such a ramp would have required an enormous amount of material and space, making it impractical. Instead, evidence suggests that the builders used multiple ramp systems that evolved as the pyramid grew taller. Some ramps may have zigzagged along the sides, others may have spiraled around the structure, and some theories propose internal ramps hidden within the pyramid itself. Rather than relying on one fixed method, the builders adapted continuously, solving problems step by step as they arose. This adaptability is one of the most underrated aspects of ancient engineering. The pyramids were not built by following a rigid plan carved in stone from the beginning. They were built through observation, adjustment, and experience. Each challenge informed the next solution. This approach mirrors how modern engineering projects operate, yet we rarely credit ancient builders with the same level of intelligence and flexibility. Precision is where the pyramids truly defy expectations. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north with astonishing accuracy, deviating by only a tiny fraction of a degree. Even with modern instruments, achieving such alignment is difficult. Ancient Egyptians accomplished this by studying the stars. They observed circumpolar stars that never set and used their movements to determine true north with remarkable accuracy. This required patience, astronomical knowledge, and a deep understanding of natural cycles. Their alignment was not accidental, it was intentional, symbolic, and scientifically grounded. The mathematical sophistication of the pyramids further challenges our assumptions. The proportions of the Great Pyramid closely match observed mathematical constants, including relationships similar to pi and the golden ratio. Whether these values were understood abstractly or achieved through practical geometry, the result is the same: a structure that reflects advanced spatial understanding. This was not the work of uneducated laborers guessing their way through construction. It was the product of a civilization that valued measurement, balance, and order. Time also plays a crucial role in demystifying the pyramids. Modern minds often imagine impossible deadlines and relentless labor, but the reality was far more measured. The Great Pyramid likely took around 20 to 25 years to complete. With a rotating workforce and seasonal labor tied to the Nile's agricultural cycles, the daily workload becomes reasonable. Stones did not need to be placed at an impossible pace. Progress was steady, deliberate, and sustainable. When we remove modern impatience from the equation, the scale of the project becomes impressive rather than unbelievable. Another reason the pyramids continue to stand is that they were designed with permanence as the primary goal. Modern buildings are often constructed with materials that age, weaken, and require constant maintenance. The pyramids rely on massive stone blocks and gravity-based stability. Their shape distributes weight evenly, reducing stress points and preventing collapse. There are no steel supports to rust, no internal frameworks to fail. The pyramid form itself is a lesson in structural efficiency, one that modern engineers still admire. Perhaps the most uncomfortable realization is that the pyramids do not represent lost magic or forgotten technology. They represent something more challenging to accept: the full potential of human intelligence when paired with purpose and belief. We often assume progress moves in a straight line, with the present always superior to the past. The pyramids remind us that knowledge can rise, fall, and transform over time. Ancient civilizations were not primitive versions of us. They were different, with strengths shaped by their environment, beliefs, and priorities. When we ask how the pyramids were built without machines, we reveal more about ourselves than about the past. We reveal our dependence on technology and our tendency to underestimate what humans can achieve through cooperation, patience, and understanding of natural principles. The pyramids stand as quiet witnesses to a time when human effort was organized on a scale rarely seen again, guided by a shared vision that extended beyond individual lives. When we ask how the pyramids were built without machines, we reveal more about ourselves than about the past. We reveal our dependence on technology and our tendency to underestimate what humans can achieve through cooperation, patience, and understanding of natural. In the end, the pyramids are not just monuments of stone. They are monuments of mindset. They challenge the idea that innovation belongs only to the modern world. They remind us that brilliance does not require electricity, and that progress is not defined solely by machines. The ancient Egyptians did not build the pyramids despite lacking technology. They built them because they mastered the tools they had and understood the world around them deeply. If this journey through ancient Egypt changed the way you see the past, take a moment to support the channel. Like this video, share it with someone who loves history and unanswered questions, and subscribe for more stories that explore how ancient civilizations shaped the world we live in today. The past is not distant or silent. It is still standing before us, carved in stone, waiting for us to look closer.